remoting. So pretty much a fairly sort of standard install with a remote head and remote speaker. The main body of the unit's in the back. I'll show you that in a moment. Right now I've got all of the, I guess, the major repeaters on both 270 around Adelaide and surrounds programmed in. That's probably where I'll use this the most, generally speaking. I'll play around with 6 and 10 meters later on, but this is pretty much where it'll stay for now, I guess. Cool thing about this radio, of course, is it's pretty much sort of 2-in-1. You can have VHF, or UHF, VHF, or UHF and UHF across both, and you can set up some funky stuff to mute the secondary receiver or radio if the main one is transmitting, and so on and so forth. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, it's pretty flexible radio. I think I mentioned before it has crossband repeat, so that might come in handy at some stage, though I'm not sure it'll be too often used. So obviously the remote head is up the front here. As I mentioned, the main body's at the back. Everything for mounting it comes with it. I think it used to be an optional kit, but it's all included now. The mounting bracket, I'll show you in a moment, at the back here is just mounted on a GoPro sticky mount thing on the windscreen here. Bracket itself is plastic, feels a bit lightweight. I won't say cheap, I'll just say lightweight. So we'll see how that goes, but I've been driving around with it for a few days now, and hasn't fallen off or moved, so might be alright. The radio comes with the extension cable, which is a good 500 meters long. Well done, Yaesu. It's really long. I'm not sure that there's too many situations where it wouldn't be long enough. Way too long for my installation, but better too long than too short, so that's fine. The other thing that I didn't realise that happens with this particular radio is that the head unit doesn't have any speakers in it. So we need a remote speaker as well, and once again Yaesu provides a really long remote speaker lead, which is just a stereo a mono 3.5mm plug at one end and socket at the other end, so that you can put a remote speaker up the front here. And speaking of which, hopefully you can see that black speaker and a black background there, but it's just mounted onto the side of the console there in a very professional way, using some very professional zip ties. Don't like it at all. Right now that's all I've got to work with. I'll try and find a more permanent and better solution at some stage, but right now that works fine. The cord from the main body to the head unit just runs through the back of the trim here, down through here behind the panel there. Just see it there. And under the boards along the bottom all the way to the back. Down here we've got the extension speaker cable, which runs out from under there across the console and across to the other side as we saw before. So I'll just get a shot of the outside if I can. So all pretty standard sort of stuff. Let's have a look at the back. Hopefully there's enough light in here. But pretty much that's where the main body is. Antenna connector, power connector, which is a 20 amp outlet, a couple of Andersons for power there, remote speaker, and connection to the head unit in there. Antenna here, cable for that's a little bit long, so I'll have to trim that at some stage. That's as simple as it gets, just bolted to the bulkhead at the back there. The antenna cable runs up through the gap here between the good old CD changer and then up. Get the right angle on the camera there and out through there, and we'll take you outside in a moment and show you that. So pretty simple installation really. It's not too hard at all. Probably took me about 2 hours to get the whole thing in, from unboxing to packing up, and that included a trip to J-Car to get the old cigarette lighter connector there as well, which incidentally has a fuse in it, which is quite handy. So let's have a look at the outside. So antenna just comes up through there and is routed across the roof racks. I have to replace that tape with some zip ties at some stage, and then up to the mount.